Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher.
All right, thank you very much. We have worn you out. A journalist, meet our panel, a journalist and stand-up comic. She's the conservative columnist for JewishWorldReview.com. My old job. Julia Goran. Julia, hey, how you doing? Thank you for coming here. She's one of the small stars of Providence, Friday nights at 8 on another network. Paula Cale. Paula, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you. The band is Everclear. Oh, this is a gooder. The new CD is Songs from an American Movie, Volume 2, and he is Art Alexakis. Art. It's a great record. I heard it today.
Thanks a lot.
And one of the funniest comedians around is Doctor made him write the new book, The Other Great Depression, and the dates for his U.S. tour can be found at richardlewisonline.com. The Prince of Pain, Richard Lewis, right here. Hello, sir.
Thank you. Well, I'm sorry about the kiss, by the way.
I was going to say.
No, I think the kiss, I used to go to a lot of Adlerian groups, and men had to kiss each other.
I'm not that cool with handshakes.
Oh. I won't kiss you again. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Well, I'm glad you did, because, you know, I want to get to George Bush today, but before we do, you're here, and I want to talk about this movie, What Women Want, because it's out, and it's what people are talking about. It also has me ticked off. Because, you know...
How weird.
Well, I know. But, I mean, the idea that if you haven't seen this movie, and, of course, if you're a guy and you haven't been dragged by a chick, you haven't...
What do you mean, dragged by a chick?
Well, no guy would see this movie if he...
Oh, you've been taken to the flick.
Yeah.
Oh, I dig.
I mean, it's the only... It's the kind of movie a guy goes to because he wants to get laid.
It's a chick flick.
Right.
But what's the premise?
No man would ever go on his own.
What's the premise?
The premise is that a man, Mel Gibson, who now apparently is... he used to blow things up, now he's this guy, you know, acquires the powers to understand what women are thinking.
Oh, okay. Oh, God, I don't want... Would you... I don't want... I mean, you're probably very confident. I don't want to know. Why would you want to know? You're making love. Oh, you're so great. I'd rather have a rooster inside me. No. What about, the only reason I'd like to know what a woman thinks if she has PMS, I'd need a coming attraction. 10 minutes to leave house. 10 minutes to leave house. No, that's when I would like to read a woman's mind. Otherwise, why? You know, surprising is I like surprise in life. I'm sorry. Should I kiss you again? So why are you upset about the movie?
Well, because there's a cliche that, you know, women don't listen to women, and I think
women don't listen to
men don't listen to women. I think the reality is that we've become a nation of men who are just jesters in your court, who listen constantly, and our whole society is based on the idea of, I like to call it, making women nod. If you watch there's a guy who understands what I'm saying. If you watch any sort of daytime show like Oprah, they cut to the audience a lot, and you know, you have to be saying something on the show that makes women nod. Children are our most precious resource. No, cut to nodding. A lot of nodding and clapping. Sensitivity is more important.
This is whacked out, man. I have a million problems, but being upset about people nodding is the coolest problem.
I think he's going to kiss you again.
No, it's not about kissing. You should go to Betty Ford. Go to the nod wing. Get over this.
Well, can I just say that they got with the premise that they used, they got the realization of it completely backward. Because Mel Gibson went from being a jerk to being this nice, sensitive guy. Whereas if men really could read our thoughts, could know what we're thinking, he should have gone from being an ass to being a bigger ass. Completely disagree.
Well, this woman disagrees.
You mean a real man?
Yeah, we're a normal real man, yeah, because it gives them the upper hand. They're not supposed to know what we're thinking. They're not supposed to know that we want to tie them down. It's supposed to be the surprise element.
Really?
How can you play games?
Really? And you're a Jewish conservative?
I was going to say.
Wow.
Well, the whole rules thing, that is conservative.
You're right. The problem is that there's not enough real men, that we've become emasculated.
No, okay.
I disagree.
Speak for your own testicles, really.
Hold on. I agree with you in a sense, but I think we act emasculated. I don't think real men are emasculated. I think you said it right from the beginning. I think men will say what they have to say, act the way they have to act to get laid. Whether it's by their girlfriends or by their wives.
I agree.
Look, I'm married for the 3rd time. God willing, the last time. And, you know, it's like I've learned some little lessons in life. It's like it's like the whole thing of like when a woman comes to you to tell you her problems, men want to fix it. If a friend of mine comes to me, a guy, I tell him, you know, well, maybe do this, do this, do this. He walks away with ideas. You don't do that with a woman.
No.
With a woman, you sit there and go, God, baby, that sucks. So what movie do you want to see? Do you want to go see that Mel Gibson movie?
So you're...
You know, and then, you know...
So you're doing what I'm saying. You're making women nod.
But you're not...
And it happens in the home, and it happens in society, and it's every guy I know does the same...
What is wrong with that? What is wrong with trying to make people nod? Because what's underneath wait a minute. What's underneath the wanting to people nod? All of a sudden, I dropped my hairdryer in the bath and knew exactly what you were going to say. No. What? No, the reason you want...
Time of the month, isn't it? I'm walking off the shop.
No, you're not. Come on, sit down.
There's a history of angina in my family. She hit me.
Right. Come on. Let's get
enjoy your new good actor.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Come on, sit down.
That was like,
I know.
a drug bust, you know, with those...
I'm sorry about this.
What network you on? I'm suing the network. Really, my colon just fell out of my behind when you just did that. That was really, I mean, really, what did I say that made you so upset?
Are you okay?
Stop nodding.
Are you okay? The reason you want
I don't buy any of this. I think it's a lot of crap. I want to nod.
Wait.
I don't want to make women nod. I want women to make me nod. Don't you get it? That's why I don't buy any of this. I want to be happy.
The reason you want to make people nod.
Not
a little louder? Seriously.
People. That's negating the premise.
Okay, no. The reason... Do you feel better now?
I could.
Okay. No, the reason that...
I just had a premature panel ejaculation. I better go.
Is there time for a commercial break?
There's a reason that the movie What Women Want was the highest grossing movie in December of all time. If the movie were called What Men Want, first of all, it'd be rated X. Second of all, it'd be a short, right? Am I right? Okay. The reason this movie is so popular, the reason I was sitting there watching it and some man that was sitting alone kept screaming in the audience, "Give me a hairdryer," the reason all of this was occurring is because we as human beings want to make connections. We also want to have great sex, okay? So, I want to have great sex. I would rather have great sex with a man, right? I'd also like to connect with that person.
And
so
punch
what
them in the
is
chest
wrong?
whenever you can.
What is wrong with wanting that connection and sharing what I believe and what I feel? And how do you feel about that? Do you
I'll tell
feel?
you,
Do you
but I have
share?
to take a commercial break. But I'm not. It's not that I'm not listening. You know, the big story really is the weather across the country. It's so cold in Florida. This is true. It is so cold, they're having to rescue and transplant endangered manatees to warmer waters. They say the cold water makes the manatees sluggish and confused, and as proof of that, they say a lot of them voted for Buchanan. Well, drug czar Barry McCaffrey stepped down from his job. Darn. Today and issued his final report at the White House. He said, "I've done my part to keep America free of mind-altering substances. Now it's Miller time." All right. As we were breaking away, you asked me, what is the problem with making women nod? Nothing if it's the truth. The problem is that you have relegated us to a nation of liars just to make you nod. It would be one thing if we were saying things we believe, but we're not, because every guy I know is just doing what he can to stay out of the doghouse with his wife or his girlfriend. And that's what making women nod means. It means saying things we don't believe. Ally McBeal is too skinny.
If that's
We don't
really
believe
true,
that.
if that's really true, what a lonely existence that is.
What do you mean lonely?
What a lonely existence.
You're right.
It's lonely
Men are
because
lonely.
you're just, are they?
Okay,
They
yes.
really, okay, do they want to be
Because
that
we're in
lonely?
fear of you.
You're
Yeah,
not
well,
that
we're
lonely if you're
confused.
allowing yourself to connect with another human
We
being.
have confused men back and forth with the men all the time. You know, first we want the more sensitive one, so we get the more sensitive one.
Who's the we? I know who the we is. We're the
the women. As soon as you get your sensitive one, you're like, oh, that was a little bit effeminate the way he moved. Did you see how he moved? So we want the Neanderthal back. You know, it's like
You want it all.
Basically, yes. So this movie should have been called Wishful Thinking. I mean, because that's not how it would have turned out.
No.
And it's not what we would have wanted.
My whole point is that the sentiment, I think, I grew up with a mom and 3 sisters. I think the sentiment is good. I watched that movie, makes me feel all warm and tingly. But the cynical side of me, I think the male side of me of what Bill's saying, this is planned. Mel Gibson's agents were like, okay, your Dems are not doing very good with women in this age group. We need to get you a vehicle.
They want to make women nod too.
Exactly, because women who nod are paying for movies.
And they're powerful. They elected the president.
What do you want the women to do then?
It's not what they want the women to do. It's what I want the men to do. I want the men to just be themselves again and stop worrying about just staying out of the doghouse. Better to be in the doghouse and be who you are than to be this liar.
Yeah.
This person. We don't think that sensitivity is more important than sex. We don't. Okay? When we're telling you that, we're lying to make you nod.
Yeah, but there's got to be a point. I mean, I agree with you to a certain point, but there is a point that I think all men basically come clean. I do. I mean, I can only keep up the charade for so long. How about you?
You're married. You're keeping up the charade. I'm not.
Dude. I can't live like that.
I don't get it. I feel really stupid. I mean, I'm listening to everybody, and I hope this third marriage works. I've never been married, but I've been laid a lot, and I'm not boasting about it. And I'm not, and their body parts move, but I never had to make them nod while they were screwing. I'll tell you right now. So I don't understand this. Feminists must be going berserk hearing this stuff. I mean, I go out with women who I don't feel I have to make them nod.
Because you're not married.
Oh, you're talking about just married men?
Well, people are in relationships. Society. Look at the sitcoms. The dads are all dumb and the women are all brilliant.
It's not just with men and women. You're constantly trying to make other people nod.
No, it's because women
are trying to connect with other human beings on this earth. That's what we're trying to do all the time.
No, that's not what. No. You're wrong. It's not about that. You're trying to make it about.
Doubt there, Bill's like.
You're trying to make it about human beings, touchy-feely kumbaya, and it's not. Because life isn't made of human beings, it's made of men and women, and we're all constantly thinking about how we can connect with each other. And we used to connect with each other on a more honest level, but you now have us so subservient.
When did we on a more honest level? Give me an example.
When men used to be men, when men used to be like, I'm who I am, and you women will either accept me or not accept me, but I'll be who I am.
There was not one, two.
But were women just being women when men were really being men? Women were being the women that were just stuck in the kitchen and nodding to men.
Pilgrim women did not have kitchens.
Well, the fact that they chose Mel Gibson for this is like the feminist conquest over mandom, okay? Because here you take like this action hero, this testosterone macho guy, and turn him into a drag queen. You know, why didn't you just make him a decent person?
Exactly. The irony is that he paints his nails, he shaves his legs.
Really?
He does all the things that women do to
get feel our pain by waxing your legs. I mean, that is such a cliche. In fact, Mark Feuerstein, who played Mel Gibson's sidekick in the movie, said that after making the movie, he had no better idea as to what the hell women wanted than beforehand. He actually said this. This was like in some headline. And why should he? Because it didn't give us any insights whatsoever.
Is there any way we could talk about a movie I saw like Godzilla? Did Godzilla make other dinosaurs nod to get laid?
The only men who will ever know what women want are gay men.
I'd have to agree with Phil.
Why? How?
What do you mean, why? Because that's who they are. And we're not.
Actually, what it is...
And you blame us for being who we are. You used to accept us. You're dogs. Yeah, we are. That's who we are.
When did we used to accept that?
Well, you know what? It depends on the man. For example, men already know pretty much what women think. If you're not showing up for a date that you're supposed to pick her up tonight and you don't show up, you can guess what she's thinking. So either you care or you don't care. So a guy who does care, basically, if he's allowed to now actually read women's thoughts, then he would turn from being sensitive to being annoyingly sensitive, whereas a jerk would turn into a more cunning jerk because, you know, whatever he can get, to, you know, whatever tools are at his disposal to seduce a woman, he's going to use it.
I haven't been hit with a hairdryer, but I agree with everything you said. Okay, we got to take a break. We'll be right back. In Suffolk County, New York, police have been accused of making a woman, get this, suspected of drunk driving, strip down to her panties and high heels and walk home to teach her a lesson. And the woman also said that looking back on the incident that she's not so sure that that thing she blew into was the breathalyzer. All right. I mentioned that I'm a little ticked at George Bush, and don't say I'm not giving him a chance, but this guy is like a nut standing on a street corner saying the world is ending, talking about the economy these days. He is talking us into a recession. We're not headed for one, except that he keeps saying, I'm taking my money out of the bank and putting it in a shoebox.
He's a doomsday machine with a smirk.
Well, economists...
Is that what that is?
Yeah, well, economists have been saying for months already that he should lower the interest rates a little bit so that businesses can do, you know...
Well, that happens.
What economist would this be?
No, economist, that was plural, with an S on the end.
Well, Alan Greenspan did that yesterday.
Yes.
Why is he so powerful, by the way? What if he's in a bad mood? We go into the toilet.
Alan Greenspan?
It's unbelievable.
He's the most powerful man in the world.
Nah, who gave him that right?
Well, I'd rather...
Ronald Reagan.
I'm glad it's Alan Greenspan as opposed to George Bush. Or anybody else.
Hey, I'd rather have Soupy Sales than George Bush, you know. I mean, you know, this guy's going to go on the road. We're in Belgium. Do they have a king or a maitre d'? Hurry up. You know, it's going to be embarrassing for us.
I don't know what that means.
You know what it means. I'm worried. First of all, how did the Supreme Court let this happen? Why couldn't we voted, and then if they didn't like the vote? This whole thing sucks. You know, this is the same Supreme Court that said, "Oh no, we can do the Paula Jones thing. It won't interrupt the country." We were in the toilet. This is the same Supreme Court. This is a shanda, as they say in Yiddish. This should never have happened. Never have happened. I wish him the best for the country, but man, there should have been at least a coin toss would have been fair. Okay.
But that's ancient history.
I know, that's the past. I'm sorry.
I can't even... I was doing that a month ago. I can't do that.
Yeah, well, I'm a liberal, and I'm going to be doing it for 4 years, pal.
Well, that's well, you know, you can actually why George Bush needs to be doing what he's doing
and abortion clinics and everything else is in the toilet now, and the poor people are disenfranchised.
He is covering his ass.
I can't forget about it.
That's what bothers me.
Is that he's
forgetting about it. I'm moving on to something else.
Richard, you can go on for the next 4 years pretending like we don't have a president. I mean, God knows, I've been doing it for 8 years.
But we have to fight now to make sure.
Okay.
Half the country doesn't agree with this guy. His whole agenda.
Wait a sec. Can we talk about what I brought up and what's happening now?
Oh, yeah.
I think the Knicks are going to be in the playoffs.
I think you're correct. He's doing this to cover his ass. He's doing this to, one, say that, look, if a recession starts, it started on Clinton's watch.
Not my fault.
You know, the last 12
Democrats
seconds.
would come up and say the recession starts on January 21st if the inauguration's on the 20th.
Well,
so he's totally
scaring everybody.
Wait, no, are you sensing alarmism in his voice? Is he really, he's going nuts over
I
there?
didn't sense anything in his voice.
Depends on the
He's saying he's going nuts.
What are you talking about?
He still thinks he's campaigning. He still thinks he's campaigning. I don't even know if he's aware that he won in Florida yet.
He was throwing rocks at the White House when he was campaigning. He's still throwing rocks at the White House, and he lives there.
Right.
He's not criticizing the economy based on the
if his teleprompter stops, the country stops.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
You got him confused with the other guy.
All right, I got to take another commercial. We'll be right back.
Join us tomorrow for a special American Music Awards show with Dick Clark, AMA performer Pink, nominee Cisco, and rapper Nelly. If you're planning to be in the Los Angeles area and would like free tickets to Politically Incorrect, call 323-575-4321.
All right, so this is in storage, you say, and this is in storage. These are both
I'm in storage,
ferocious,
too.
passionate men. That's what they have in common. All right.